Hello everybody, this is Yolanda Roos and you're watching Body, Mind, and Soul. Today is the Planet Day, so we're going to just go over a quick little, you don't really have a lot of things happening or changing this week. We're just going to touch on the things that are new, maybe a couple of things that could still be affecting you. The planets and their alignments have an effect and they will inspire or cause issues for you based on how they're trining or squaring, or if they're in retrograde, it means it appears that they're going backwards. They're not really, but when you make your cycle, they appear to be going backwards. And usually that's not an adverse effect, but it usually is causing you to evaluate the things, or it could have a negative impact or make you feel like it could be negative. So this week we look like we have the full moon was the 8th. So it wasn't last night, it was the night before. It will still have its effect on you. It's talking about feelings of loneliness. If you feel lonely with this moon, from the full moon to the new moon, make sure if you're resonating with that, if you're feeling super lonely, that you're reaching out to family, you're trying to get in touch with loved ones, even if you're talking or whatever, you're just doing something. And it said, if you're feeling isolated or you're feeling like closed in because of these lockdown measures, maybe allow your mind to evaluate it and look at it a little different. Like you're on a retreat, take it as time that you can reflect. Maybe don't be so focused on the fact that you can't go out, and find things that you can do in your house or things in your life that would benefit from you looking at them, thinking on them. Take the time to pray. Take the time to relax and just rest and do the things that you need. If you don't have to be up and run around with the kids, maybe take an extra nap. Do something like that. But you do have Facebook, you have the internet, most people have telephones. Do reach out to your family and friends if you're feeling a little isolated and a little lonely with this full moon. All right, so on the 9th, which was yesterday, we had Sirius retrograde beginning in Sagittarius, which is that little planet. It's a little dwarf planet that's out there. And it says, the retrograde phase of this invites you to reflect on the nature of procedures and transfers abroad. So is it a conscious decision or an escape? Are you doing something because you're trying to get away from something else, or are you really maybe just seeking or needing to go somewhere? Okay, just evaluate, because the fear of being replaced by a disciple or a student, it could, that's the effect it could have on some of the people that are living in the world today. Don't get in that fear that someone's going to replace you, because it probably is up here, because you still have a lot to learn in anything that you do. Nobody's ever totally fully a master, and that's very rare. So you either need to learn more, or you feel like somebody that knows more than you do. Don't allow that doubt and things to get in your mind. Just keep going, keep learning, and don't feel like you're going to be replaced. Because, I mean, yes, you could be replaced, but I'm saying the energy is saying that you could have that insecurity that you could be replaced by somebody. Okay, so on April 11th, we have Mercury entering Aries. So frankness, confidence in one's ideas, self-admiration. So I feel like Mercury is usually about communication and how we present ourselves and things of that nature. So it sounds like Aries is going to give you some confidence, power of decision, quick thinking, spontaneity. But this overness of whatever can meet conflict. So it said to just be careful. April 4th, we have the sun squaring Pluto. So during this time, we are called to remember where the true power and strength lies. Okay, so this is what it was saying. How can you empower yourself? How can you connect with the incredible strength and wisdom that lives within? Okay, within you is an incredible source of love, power, wisdom, knowledge, and divinity. Use these energies as a reminder to connect with that. Whatever we have intensity like this, whenever we have intensity like this, we are only being squeezed so that we can release more of the potential and in our inner divine spark out to the world. So sometimes we're so closed in and we're so contained, because I feel like Pluto's one of those quiet, but with the sun, it's kind of like it's shining its light on it and it might be squeezing you to a potential that the information or the energy or whatever bursts out and people can see it, like you're forced, like it's squeezing you to force you out of that comfort zone, to force you out of that fear. So during this time, it's telling you to evaluate those things, like what empowers you. Don't hide behind it. Don't, this Pluto thing is going to kind of like, come on, do what you're supposed to do, or let everybody see that wonderfulness that you have. We get very stuck in things. We get, oh, someone's not going to accept me. And I think this energy, it could also talk about squeezing you to bring strength out, like forcing you where maybe nobody else has really pushed you, or you didn't need to be pushed because everything was going the way you wanted. This is going to push you to do that extra thing that maybe you're not doing. So the last one, which is coming up, but this is for the 19th, so that's going forward. The sun enters the sign of Taurus. So the 19th of April, we have the new moon coming the 22nd, and you have this sun entering the Taurus. It says you're going to be feeling more comfortable and grounded with the direction of your life. This will also help ease us into the new moon of the 22nd. The sun in Taurus in the 2020 April will focus on creative potential, because usually Taurus is earthy and it's ruled by Venus. So it's usually dealing with arts and creation, and like they talk about having the muse. Like during that time, Taurus is creative. It's earthy, it's material, it's arts and music and creation. So it says contact with nature, acquisitions of material goods. So that's exactly. So when this new sun and moon kind of come in at the same time, they're going to be affecting each other. So pragmatism, common sense, perseverance, conservative values, because usually they are a very grounded sign, the Taurus people. But it's the energy too. And then little flexibility. Nope, we're not flexible. We're very kind of like stuck in our way. Possession criterion on people and objects without distinction. Okay, so that means you might become very possessive, very jealous, or this is mine and it's not really yours. It's that you just have taken possession of these people or things. The focus is on creative potential, contact with nature, like I said, and acquisitions, especially real estate, jewelry, and works of art. So this could be a very creative time. If you're a person that does artwork, you might get like that muse type of spark that you want to, I got this great idea, I want to go ahead and do it. And that's good, because take that energy and absorb it. And it talks about as Taurus enters the sun sign, like it's going to be coming in, it'll go into the zodiac sign of Taurus. The emphasis will be on what produces security, the scale of personal values, self-confidence. Extreme prudence may prevent taking unnecessary. You will be very grounded, and you might normally go and do something that's risky, and during this time period, you might be a little grounded and not want to take those risks and don't want to be flexible, and you're not going to be like maybe as flippy to just try something, because you're going to have my energy, which is more like, I don't know, I want to make sure I'm safe. It's just a more fixed sign. And like I said, that new moon is coming in. It said beware of possessive attitudes, jealousy, and stubbornness. That's that putting people as possessions. That could be, that's like kind of a downfall thing that can happen. 22nd new moon, which is that new cycle. We'll be doing that reading right around that time to give you a little thing. It's a tidbit I do. It's something for fun, and it'll tell you possible lessons that you could be learning during this cycle. We just did the full moon reading, which is kind of like, if you're getting it, maybe a little information to help you with what you're supposed to be learning. Okay, so I think that's basically it for what's happening. The rest goes for like the end of the week. So we have our sign of Aries that happened the end of March going into April until the 21st. So you're still in that Aries energy. You had your full moon the 7th and 8th going over through the night, and that moon is going to fuel lunar Can't even talk today. Lunar energy. This moon was actually the closest to us, so its effect was very powerful and very intense. And it's talking about your connections you have with life. It can also guide us to focus on relationships we have with ourselves. It can be a catalyst to helping us reach a deeper state of self-love and acceptance. So right now, in the midst of this coming in, this information that you're flooding into you with this full moon is going to illuminate self-acceptance, self-love, deeper understanding. So that is the full moon intensity until probably the new moon. So maybe you need to accept yourself or things going on with yourself. And that's hard sometimes because we get so wrapped up in the world's view of us. We have pain, we have suffering, we have all kinds of stuff. We have joy and happiness, but sometimes we're so busy taking everybody else out into their places and caring for them and being concerned that we forget about us. So this moon was talking about that, like that energy. And I think it's going to be very intense, and we are all by ourselves usually at home. So we are thinking, and it's kind of like it's meant for you to think, but it's also you are in your home. Primarily, most people are alone. They've got more time, or they're not doing it. So while you're thinking of yourself, you're also not distracted, unless you have a house full of kids, then maybe. But like you will have that time to actually be able to focus and not be thinking about going to work or doing this or doing that, because we really need to stay home. We're not supposed to be going anywhere. So it's a perfect time that's giving you the ability to do that self-evaluation. So guys, we have a week coming up. We're going to be putting those videos up. If you do watch this, we put them up on Saturdays. I start usually Friday night, and I start loading the ones that I've done, and then they are all loaded by Saturday. And then you have random videos through the week. We'll probably be doing a love reading this week coming up, because we did it about 2 weeks ago. So I try to do those bi-weekly just to give you a little tidbit, little information. And if you have any questions or concerns, definitely reach out. If you need some answers or questions addressed through the astrology or through tarot cards, we can do a reading if you need something. I don't do full spreads and crazy stuff, but if you need a question answered and you're concerned about something, we'll see what we can do for you. The email is in the box below, and I'm also on Out and About on Facebook, so check it out. This is Body, Mind, and Soul, Yolanda Roos, the Planet Day.